We were on Oprah last year. My Oprah plant, her name was Oprah Winfrey. 8-foot ceilings and just a slow roof.
Something that I wanted to touch on is, because what I try to do with my real estate clients, especially my investors, is get them to understand numbers ahead of time, right? And so, for example, when they're thinking about, okay, I want to buy this particular property, and this is the asking price. It's very important to know all of their numbers. As you mentioned, like you can assist with the cost of the construction or the renovation, and then also on my side, I want to make sure that they know what is the market like in that area. Are you planning on selling this or renting it out? How much are you likely to make, and is it going to make sense for how much you're borrowing or how much you're putting up? So it's very important to get all of that information. Don't wait until the home is built or renovated and then you got this bill that you've got to pay,
Right.
and you may not be bringing in enough income from it. So being really, really intentional about that. And so having an architect on hand who really is knowledgeable. And also want to shout out once again, like I said, like your space is fantastic. You when we first got here, you mentioned how you kept the budget under a certain level. Get someone like Michael who can help you build the house you want without you breaking the bank, and making sure that if you are an investor, you're going to be either selling or renting it out, that you're able to afford what you put in here,
Right.
and make some money.
Right. And I found that cost is so important. One, it's the most awkward thing. So when I speak to a client,
Yeah.
I speak about cost first.
Mhm.
Because you can be aligned on everything, you can like each other, but if the money doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. So one, you need to budget for an architect, you need to budget for an engineer, sometimes, depending on the scale of your project.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is actually break down the design. Somebody might say, well, Mike, I might be paying for permit drawings and then just figure out I can't afford this building.
Yeah.
So what we do is actually break it down, and first thing we do is give you a pricing set.
Okay.
So then I figure out, what do you want? What are your must-haves in this project? And then we go through, basically for a contractor to give you a budget, there's a 16 division breakdown. All that means is there's very specific information I'm going to ask you up front,
Mhm.
and I'm going to get you a very detailed estimate so that you can take that to your lender
Yeah.
and figure out, okay, this is exactly why I think it's going to cost this much, plus a contingency. A contingency basically says, if something goes wrong, this is money set aside
Yeah.
if something goes wrong. But I'll give you an example. A contractor might say, okay, this renovation is going to cost $120 a square feet,
Mhm.
and you have 1,500 square feet, therefore this is $300,000. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're like, well, my budget is $270. That's what I have.
Yeah.
With contingency, you can say, okay, well, let's look at the details on this. So it's going to break down, okay, this is for framing, meaning this is the lumber that you see, the outline of the house.
Mhm.
This is for flooring, and you said, I want engineered wood floors. Well, engineered wood floors versus luxury vinyl is going to be a price difference.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get down on the price, you say, okay, well, all these engineered wood floors, let's switch to luxury vinyl and see how that affects the number. You might say, I watch HGTV and everybody has quartz countertops. Okay, that's fine. You can get 10 feet of quartz countertops, or you can get 30 feet of this cheaper alternative. So it's okay. What are we giving up, and what are we adding? So you're gonna get so much detail that you can figure out where is that money going.
Mhm.
So then you can figure out with your contractor or your lender, hey, what are we giving up, and what are our must-haves for this project?
And really, at the end of the day, just did you reach and achieve the goal, right? Because do you really need the quartz countertop to be comfortable in your home or to make money off this investment? If it's not a necessity for it, then be willing to cut those corners. That's my best advice.
I would imagine for a lot of your clients, you know what's selling in the area.
Yeah.
And what. So if they say we need this, and you say actually you don't in this area. All you need is X, Y, and Z. I would imagine.
Yes, and so one of my investors in particular, when he purchased the property, the first thing that I did, I actually had someone buying an area, And the house they ended up buying, I sent him the photos. I was like, this is what they're buying and this is how much they're spending. And I know this because it's my client, right? And if I didn't happen to have a client there, I would have gone in and pulled some of the recent sales and said, hey, look at these materials and this is how much someone's paying. And that's what's most important.
Right.
What are people actually buying? Not did I build it the way I envisioned it, but if you're trying to make money, this is a business, what are people actually buying?
Right.
Okay, pause it again. With myself, Jessica Bordelon, Realtor for Louisiana, and today we are going to be talking about
renovation. But I always tell people, like, wait till I get in the attic, wait till I get under the house.
A lot of people confuse warranty with homeowners insurance. So,
but on that same token, it's a lot safer. You don't have the same factors involved in it.